Welcome back, everyone. Making my sugar cookies with royal icing. These are like my go-to cookies for baby showers, birthdays, gender reveals, you know, anything of that sort. They are a very easy recipe. The sugar cookie dough does not have to be refrigerated. You can literally hear your thing. If you hear a bunch of like background noise, it's because Kyle is watching
football Sunday. Sorry, we're watching football.
Yes, you are. Bowie, say hi.
Hello. What are you doing, Baba?
As I was saying, very easy recipe. And nothing is like weird in the ingredients, so it should be things that you have in your pantry or your fridge already. We are 3 days away from Christmas, so obviously we're going to be doing Christmas cookies, and these are the ones we will be leaving out for Santa for Kyson's first Christmas. So I'm very excited to get these going. For some reason, I thought that I had a lot more Christmas cookie cutters, but I have more Halloween ones, and I didn't even make Halloween cookies, but oh well. So we are going to do gingerbread, and then I'm going to turn this into a present somehow. We'll see how it goes. I will show you guys the ingredients before we get started. I will fill you guys in on like how much I'm using of each thing as we go through the recipe. So without further ado, here we go. I'm using my KitchenAid mixer. Kyle got this for me like 3 Christmases ago, and this has like been hands down probably one of my favorite gifts. If you don't have a KitchenAid, you can use a regular mixer or a spoon. It just obviously makes things a lot easier to use this, so I would highly recommend one if you don't have one already. Then this, normally the mixers come with like the normal mixing tool, but they don't have this end on here. This just helps like gather everything around in the bowl. So you don't have to have this one. This is just the one that I use. To start things off, you are going to cream the butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla. You're gonna start with 1.5 sticks of butter, which is 3/4 of a cup. You do want it to be softened, so the way that I soften the butter is I take a bowl and fill it with water, like a ceramic bowl or a glass bowl, and fill it with water, put it in the microwave for a couple minutes, dump the water out, and then set it upside down over the butter, and it just kind of makes it soft without putting the butter in the microwave and worrying about it melting. And then you're gonna do 2 eggs, full egg, not just like the yolks or just the whites, full egg. A cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And you're just gonna turn your mixer on low. And then I would go ahead and lock the head on here just so that, because of the butter, you don't want it like spitting anything back up at you. Something like that, then it is ready for the next ingredients. You can go ahead and turn off your mixer, and then you're going to add all of the dry ingredients, which is going to be your flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. You do want to sift these ingredients together, so I just grab a strainer. You need 3 cups of flour. Make the cookies smoother.
Let me do that. That looks really fun. Let me shake it.
Okay. No, not right now.
Let me shake it.
Hang on. Okay, so I just put 2 in there right now because that's how much this is going to hold, and then I'm going to add the baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and then I'll add the extra cup here in just a little bit. A teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. So Kyle's gonna sift it because He has to be bald.
Looks fun.
And so when there's like enough room in there that you can add your last cup of flour, go ahead and do that. If you watched my Black Friday video, these are the containers I ended up getting from Walmart, and I love them so much. To make our pantry look 100 times better. You are getting flour everywhere. And then you're going to slowly add the dry ingredients to what's already in the mixer and just have it mixing as you do it. You are going to want to lock this down because it is a dough, so it's going to end up like pushing the head up. Once it has a good dough consistency like that, it is ready to roll out. I just start with taking some non-stick parchment paper and rolling it out. Go ahead and add some flour. You're just going to sprinkle it on there. Take my dough and place it on here. Make sure to get everything out of the bowl. Before I start rolling out the dough, I come over here and preheat my oven to 375. I know it looks really crumbly, but that's the consistency of the dough that you're gonna want. It's not dry at all, I promise. And you're just gonna roll out the cookie dough. Once I get it to my desired thickness, I am just going to start getting some cookies cut out. And then I already have a greased cookie sheet over here. I'm gonna put the cookies over on the cookie sheet. I'm just waiting for the oven to finish preheating. It is almost done. And I'm going to roll another set of the cookies. So now that the oven is all preheated, they're gonna go in for 6 to 8 minutes. I usually do 7 and then just check them. Just check on these cookies. Like they're starting to get a little brown on the edges, which is how we want them. There they are. I just put my second set in the oven. For each following set, I usually knock off them down to like 6 minutes because the pan is already hot. So I don't want them to burn. And this one. Yep. So the last batch just went in the oven. Okay, let's check on these ones. All right.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
The cookies are cooling right now. Yay. It ended up making 17 cookies, but the gingerbread are much larger than like a normal size cookie, I feel like. Like these are the gingerbread and these are the squares. Normally, like when I make these cookies, if I'm making average size cookies, then they make about 2 dozen. So that would make sense that it made about 17 because we ended up doing 8 gingerbreads and 9 squares. While these are cooling, I'm going to go feed him, and then I'll come back and make the icing, and then we'll decorate these. Okay, so the cookies are all cooled, and I am going to start the icing. Let me show you the ingredients first for this. So as you can see, I have powdered sugar, meringue powder, and water, and then I have some food coloring options. I do use gel food coloring because I feel like it works better than just like your traditional food coloring that you can find at Walmart. This is the meringue powder. They sell a bigger thing of this at Walmart, but this is usually just what I use because it lasts me a while anyways. Also find it at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, but if your local Walmart has it, you might as well get it there. First, you are just going to start with the meringue powder and add 2 tablespoons. And then you're going to add 6 tablespoons of water. I've already pre-measured this out so that it was easier on me. This part you are just going to make sure that you use the whisk attachment if you are using your KitchenAid, and you are going to turn it on low for 3 minutes until it is foamy. You want to make sure that it does get foamy though. Sometimes this can be a little loud on your KitchenAid because there's not much in there, so don't let that worry you. Once it looks nice and foamy like that, you are going to start adding the powdered sugar. It shows 2 2/3 cups of powdered sugar, but you are just going to base that off of the consistency that you're wanting. So obviously with the outline on the cookie, you are wanting a little bit thicker of a consistency, and when you're flooding the cookie, you want it to be a little bit runnier. So right now, just get like a good in-between, which is usually around like the 2.5 cup mark, but you'll just base that off of what you see. You're going to add it and then mix it on medium speed until you see the stiff peaks form, and I'll show you what that looks like. Still a little too runny. As you can see, it's just like running off my spoon. Getting a lot closer because it's not running as bad. Perfect. Okay. So as you can see, it's a pretty strong peak on there. It's not very runny at all. And that should be a pretty good consistency for your outline of your cookies. Shouldn't need about more than that for the white frosting. Going to start coloring the frosting. I do have like the neutrals. So I have brown, white, black, and like a navy color in here. And then I have just the traditional red, blue, yellow, and green. So for this one, since it's probably the largest amount of frosting, I'm going to do this with the brown, since there's going to be quite a bit of brown since the gingerbread are so much bigger. cookies are finally all done. They are far from perfect. I was trying to hurry because Kyson's getting a little fussy and is ready to eat. But I will show you guys what they ended up turning out looking like. These are our little gingerbread men. I probably could have added a lot more detail to them, but I think they turned out so cute. And we have the presents. These ones are still drying. These didn't turn out exactly like I was planning on them to turn out like, but they look okay. You get the idea. They're supposed to be presents. And Kyle already ate one of these, so he says they were pretty good. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you try out this sugar cookie recipe, whether it's for Christmas or some other event, and let me know how it went. Since this will be our last vlog uploaded before Christmas, we do wish you guys a Merry Christmas. We will see you guys in the next video. Until next time.